Parents always live in a state of heightened alertness, always anticipating the next meltdown. Welcome back to our channel, and thank you once again for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. I am Terry Ann Alain, proud autism mom, and we are here to share with you tips and tricks on how we navigate through our journey right here on Autistic Edge. Once again, we are still on autism awareness. As you know, the month of April was Autism Awareness Month, and April 2nd was celebrated as World Autism Day. We are on a campaign of making people aware and understand some of the ups and the downs of autism, and how we can better able to help persons on the spectrum to have a better quality of life. Now, we want to touch a little bit today on parenting children on the autism spectrum. The parenting challenges are not easy. Today, we're going to talk about the emotional and the mental stress of what parents go through. Parenting a child on the autism spectrum, especially the ones with severe behavioral challenges, can be emotionally and mentally exhausting. The constant management of the challenging and unpredictable behavior, like the aggression, the self-injury, the meltdowns, the elopement, sensory overload, and all of those things, the communication challenges, these can be mentally exhausting, and this can push a parent into a state of chronic stress. The constant vigilance and hyper awareness that parents go through. Parents always live in a state of heightened alertness, always anticipating the next meltdown, the next safety concern that they have. They are living on edge. And can I tell you, our channel is named Autistic Edge for a reason. Because for us as parents with a child on the autism spectrum, we are always living on edge, constantly in a protective mode, you have to be ahead of the game at all times if you're going to survive. The on-edge state that we are living in can be physically draining and mentally exhausting. Managing the therapy appointments, the school IIP, the doctor's appointment, the behavioral plan, the medication, the sensory overload, the communication strategies, and think about all that we have just mentioned, which by themselves are not easy. And this is being done on top of our normal everyday life. Now, this can lead to just simple mental fatigue. And this is not easy for parents who have support. Can you think about the persons who have no support whatsoever? They are single parents, don't know how they do it. May the Lord bless their soul. You have single parents who are carrying this mental stress. So you're looking at managing the child behavior. You also look at the anxiety for the child future. Children on the spectrum, they tend to be left out. And when they are left out, it creates social isolation. You look at them being labeled, and because of that, they may have a future of challenges. And for children who are severe on the spectrum, you may end up as a parent have to be taking care of them and having caregiving for them for probably the rest of the foreseeable future. Now, this is not easy for any one parent. Of course, we talk about the emotional exhaustion. All these put together create nothing but mental chaos and burnout. Now, let me tell you something. This kind of stress isn't just a hard day stress. It's not one of the regular kind of stress when somebody say, listen, I go to work and today was a hard day because I had a hard day on the job. Now think about being on the job, having a hard day, and when you come home, you have a full-time life waiting for you on Autistic Edge. Now, this kind of stress, it is chronic, it is cumulative because you go through this every day. You have a job, and if the job becomes a little bit too much, overwhelming and toxic, you can always change a job. If you have a child on the spectrum, you can't change that child. So you will have to navigate the issues surrounding that child. So it being cumulative, it can also lead to depression. We talk about that. It can lead to the parent having anxiety issues. It can lead to them having health issues. If these kind of issues are left unaddressed, it can be chronic. And guess what? Parents on a whole, they carry this weight silently because not many parents like to talk about this because of how society may look at them and look at their children and how they label the children. Some parents are ashamed, and because of that, they deal with this issue of autism silently. They silently advocate for their children, or some parents, they advocate none at all. They give up. You have parents who run off and leave some of these children. But there are the ones who remain. They advocate fiercely. They love deeply. And irrespective of all the challenges, they still do their best on a day to day. It is not easy. The emotional aspect of it is not easy. Therefore, that is why we are here spreading the awareness for you to understand when you see another parent with a child struggling, when next you see a parent struggling with a child on the autism spectrum, you will understand how to empathize and how you can help and find ways and means how you can support these parents, help them to advocate. And guess what? Give the parents a helping hand sometimes. Sometimes they just need a break. Yeah, sometimes we just need a break. And I tell you something. Yesterday I had one of the most exhausting days from navigating and talking about one of the challenges that we were having with Alex Xavier. And after like a full day of just being on top of this issue, trying to figure out my way, the next step, and all of that, it was just emotionally over the edge. But when I got home in the evening, my husband had a full week as well. And we were both just tired, exhausted, out of it, and felt like we had not an ounce of energy left. But we had to make a decision in terms of, all right, who got to bed first? Who is going to stay up with Alex? Because by this time, Alex was full of life, Alex was full of energy, and you name it. So I allowed my husband to go off to bed first, and I decided that I will do the first leg of the night tonight. Needless to tell you, it was one of those nights that Alex chose to go to bed at midnight. So while I await the sleepiness to have arrived for Alex Xavier, I think I did about 10,000 steps between probably about 8 o'clock and 12 o'clock in the night. Because guess what? I was walking from the kitchen to the restroom to the living room, and there I was just back and forth. And a good friend of mine was there sticking it out with me on the phone. She was there talking to me, trying to keep me awake and making sure that I don't fall asleep. I couldn't go in the bed and put on my head as tired I was, because I would fall asleep and leave Alex Xavier alone in the house. And I couldn't go anywhere near the couch, because if I go near the couch, you know what that means? That is the end of my security work for the night. So I had to be walking up and down, pacing the floor, trying to keep myself awake. I couldn't sit down to read a book, because reading at that hours with that level of exhaustion would have just put me to sleep. So I had to be up on my feet. And tell you the truth, I'm not even sure if I don't drop asleep a few times just by walking to and fro in the kitchen to the living room. So this is the level of exhaustion that we as parents go through right here on the autistic edge. And I can just imagine there are hundreds of parents out there who are sharing similar sentiments. We just need a break. Thank you once again for joining us in this another day in the life of living on Autistic Edge. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so the next time we put out another content, you will be notified.